your claim. If you want to know what your case is really worth, I'm Spencer Callahan. I'd like to help.
Spencer Callahan is the one to see. Call 38723.
LA filing number 16-7970.
Now, the Hunt Palmer Show.
Yes! I feel like I've been waiting for this my entire life.
You're listening to the Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Jolly good fun. Jolly good.
Locking down the middle of the day.
America's favorite daytime fun show.
Live from the Raising Cane's studio. This is Hunt Palmer.
Welcome in! Hunt Palmer coming to you from the Raising Cane studio downtown in the capital city on this Tuesday. Hope your work week's off to a good start. Appreciate you hanging out with us on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Mel Kiper's got a mock draft out. There's something very interesting about this mock draft as it relates to the Saints pick. And I want to talk about that in 15 minutes. Glenn West will be with us at the bottom of the hour talking Tigers. LSU got a basketball commitment last night. Got to be honest, that surprised me a little bit. We'll preview LSU and McNeese tonight. Got an ESPN list of the key college football returning players for every top 25 team. LSU is one of those. Who do they see as the key returner for LSU in 2026? And we'll talk to Sharif Ishak about the black and gold at 2:30. It's combine time, so we'll talk a little bit about that with Sharif. So let's crank it up how we do every single day with our opening drive.
Welcome to the big league.
It's time for Hunt's Opening Drive. Presented by Fabry Chevrolet GMC in St. Francisville.
So, I got to one of my baseball season pastimes this morning, which is pulling up the old stat sheet and seeing what pops. And today was pretty easy. I got to it pretty quickly. And it fascinated me, so I wrote about it at LouisianaSports.net, and we'll see how you digest this, but it's about Stephen Milam and what he's done through 8 games for this team. It's interesting because if you've watched this team play 4 games, or you've watched this team play 8 games, all of them, or you've kind of paid attention, you probably haven't really noticed Stephen Milam. There's not been really much of anything that has grabbed anyone's attention about Stephen Milam. And as I got to thinking about that, I got to thinking that that's what makes him so good. Sometimes the things he does don't show up on a stat sheet. And keep in mind, I'm aware they've played 8 games, and most of the 8 games, if not all of the 8 games, have been against vastly underwhelming competition as it relates to SEC competition, as it relates to Omaha competition. I know that. You know that. It's a disclaimer that I toss out there at this time of year, but we're all on the same page here. I'm not overreacting to 8 games against Kent State and Milwaukee and Indiana, and I don't even remember what in-state team they played last week.
Wasn't it Southeastern?
Nichols.
Oh, Nichols.
Doesn't matter. They're all the same. Whatever. Point being, I know, you know, but I still think this is interesting because we have a track record on Stephen Milam. Like, statistically speaking, batting average is a gaudy stat. Home runs are a gaudy stat. Runs driven in are a gaudy stat. And then you think of, like, high leverage moments, which LSU hasn't had a lot of this year. And Stephen Milam hasn't hit a home run this year. He's driven in 7. That's not exactly anything to write home about. He's not been a gaudy offensive player. In fact, he's got the lowest batting average of any of LSU's regulars. He's tied with Derek Curriell. Now, because of the competition and the short sample size, that's 333. So it's not like he's off to some catastrophic start. He's 10 out of 30. He's hitting the ball well. But Jake Brown's hitting 459, and Seth Dardar's hitting 400, and Mason Braun's hitting 389, and Cade Arambede's hitting 367 with 3 homers, and Zach York's hitting 360 with 3 homers. And you get the point. Stephen Milam, relative to his peers in this lineup, has not been super gaudy in that way. But what has Stephen Milam done? Well, he struck out in his first at-bat on Sunday. Why do I point that out? It's a blowout win for LSU. They run-ruled him. He's hitting 330. Why do I point out a meaningless first-inning strikeout. Well, it was his first and only strikeout of the season. We're 8 games in. Brown struck out 4 times. Aaron Beatty struck out 8 times. Curiel struck out 7 times. Milam's got 1. He was far and away LSU's best strikeout rate in the starting lineup last year as well. He is consistently putting the ball in play. He is moving base runners. He is making college defenses make plays. He is making pitchers work. He's not going to go down very quickly on 4 pitches and strike out. He's going to foul pitches away. He's going to extend bats. That doesn't show up on the stat sheet other than the strikeout number. No one ever really looks at the strikeout number. You're looking at what the production is. The Stephen Milam is an elite contact guy, and that's not something you notice all the time. Also, free bases. Stephen Milam has walked 6 times and been hit by a pitch 4 times. That hit by pitch number leads the team. The 10 free bases he's drawn, only Seth Dardar has drawn more. Seth Dardar's got 11. Stephen Milam has 10. Again, not something that's flashy or gaudy. That's not going to show up on Wheels' YouTube clip that he drew a walk. But he does that as well as anybody on the team. His on-base percentage is .500. The discrepancy between his batting average and on-base percentage is the largest on the team. He gets on base. He doesn't strike out. And that's just half the game. What about defense? You're 8 games in. Stephen Milam, no errors. None. Another thing that's not going to show up on the stat sheet, not going to show up on the highlight tape on YouTube, LSU's not going to clip it when he just goes and makes a backhand play and throws the runner out. Or when there's a bit of a tricky hop that he smothers with those incredible hands and flips it over to first base. That's not something that catches the highlight tape. It's not something that's super gaudy. But he does it every game. He played every game at shortstop last year for LSU. He made 5 errors on the season. 5. Being consistent in the field on the easy plays. Being consistent at the plate, not giving bats away and striking out. Playing every day. This is the superpower of Stephen Milam. Now, he's going to hit. He's going to hit around 300. I think he's going to hit 10 home runs. He's going to play elite defense. And there are times where he gets piping hot. Of course, we remember last year in Super Regional play in Omaha, he was LSU's best hitter. He has the ability at times to carry the offense. He's done it. He did it as a freshman, walk-off homer against South Carolina. He was probably their best hitter in the Chapel Hill Regional. Hit a walk-off home run in the Chapel Hill Regional. Like, he's got that. It's not like he's some punch-and-Judy hitter who never does anything offensively and hits 8th. He hits 3rd. He hits 2nd. He hits 4th. But he hasn't gotten off to this gaudy start like Jake Brown has. He's just been rock solid. He's just been steady. As a football analogy, he's the right tackle that you don't even notice is there. He's just doing his job. In basketball, he's the power forward who's playing good defense. He's grabbing 9.5 rebounds. He's shooting 80% from the foul line. He's not averaging 18 a game. He's averaging 9. But he's just giving you exactly what you need. And at shortstop, you got to have it. And he's hitting in a leverage spot in LSU's order. But it's early in the season. It's poor competition. But I just think the consistency that Milam plays with is special. And as I mentioned, he can carry the team offensively, defensively on Friday. For those that didn't purchase and watch the games this weekend, there are spectacular things on defense, no doubt. In Friday's game, he goes deep in the hole, backhand on a slide, pop-up slide, missile across the diamond in time. Review upheld it. Then just moments later, and I put this in the story I wrote at LouisianaSports.net, they hit a high chopper over the mound, over Case and Evans' head, and Milam came in, and he gloves it on the short hop, gets it into his hand just lightning fast, and throws a seed right across the diamond in time. Just incredible versatility and ability to go back into the left, back into the right, up into the left, and make those plays. It's just, he's awesome at that. My favorite shortstop to watch at LSU in my time down here in Baton Rouge, and I got here in 2007 baseball-wise, has been Austin Nola. Bregman made some highlight reel plays, but Austin Nola for 4 years was an elite shortstop defensively for LSU. and he was my favorite. And Bregman made some great plays, and Thompson had a big arm. It was fun to watch. But I think Milam is the best defender at shortstop, probably my favorite shortstop to watch since I've been down in Baton Rouge over the last 20 years. You go an entire season last year, make 5 errors, and 2 of them were actually in one super regional game, which is crazy. I looked that back up. I didn't even remember that. But at this point in the season, we're going to be talking about Brown. We're going to be talking about York. We're going to be talking about Aaron Beatty, and we should be because they've been awesome. And we'll talk about the depth of the staff, and we'll talk about the velocity everybody throws with. And I just don't know how quickly Stephen Milam's name is going to come to the forefront of like what stood out in 8 games. But if you look at the stat sheet and you pay attention to the games and you understand what matters in winning baseball, he's doing it. I said something that is going to end up looking very foolish on the preview show that I did with Musso that we put up on YouTube. I said at that point, which was late January or very, very early February, I said, look, I'm not sure that I would take another shortstop in the country over Stephen Milam. And I said the name, Rock Chalowski at UCLA, obviously Justin LeBron at Alabama. Unfortunately, Kentucky shortstop got hurt on opening weekend. But those are the guys that come up first in this discussion and are likely first-round picks. And Milam is not likely a first-round pick. Of course, he's 5'9", which doesn't help. And I said I'm not sure I would take any. And I didn't mean that at the time. I think I was skewed by the fact that the Rock Chalowski that I saw in Omaha didn't really produce. Like, I saw him for a couple games with my own eyes. He played good defense, but he didn't hit worth a flip. And I saw Milam ripping balls all over the yard. And I just thought, well, maybe he's feasting on the Big Ten. He's got a lot of ability. You can tell he's naturally gifted. Maybe that's an upside thing. I know what I've got in Milam. He's a proven college force. And Chalowski's gone out there and hit 1 billion home runs, and he torched TCU over the weekend. I think he leads the country in home runs, and he's going to be the first pick in the draft. And I would take him over Stephen Milam. He's a more dynamic player at this point. But I will be very, very comfortable every single game that LSU goes out there to play tonight against McNeese in the last game of the College World Series with number 4 penciled in at shortstop for LSU, because Milam does the things that you need to do to win games. He does them consistently. He's got a track record now that's 3 years, going on 3 years long, and he's sensational. And it's not sensational in hitting 388 with 22 homers. It's sensational of, I'm going to give you a good at bat. I'm going to move the baseball. I'm going to catch the baseball. I'm going to make the routine play. And at times, I'll be the best player on the field. And that's a really, really comforting thing to have at shortstop. Stephen Milam's given that to LSU. So I wrote about it at LouisianaSports.net, wanted to talk about it at the top of the day's show, and so thought we'd get into that, which we did. Take a time out. When we come back, I'm fascinated by an aspect of Mel Kiper's mock draft today. Not necessarily who he has the Saints picking, but what the Saints war room could look like once they're on the clock. We'll talk about that next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Fabry Chevrolet GMC, they bring your opening drive each and every day. They're on Highway 61 in St. Francisville. Fabry family took over on October the 1st. They've been in business in Baton Rouge 35 years. They've got 3 locations, 5 brands. You know them. You've had wonderful experiences with them. That's what you're going to get with the Fabry family. The city of Baton Rouge means a lot to them, and the surrounding area means a lot to them, and they are thrilled to reach up into St. Francisville on Highway 61 with their Chevrolet GMC store. Looking for a truck? They got you covered here in February. Chevy Silverado's up to $11,000 off MSRP or 1.9 APR financing. Looking for a GMC Sierra? Up to $13,000 off MSRP, 0.0 APR financing. Incredible deals. They've also got Tahoes. They've got Yukons, Denali's. Looking for a truck? Looking for an SUV? Look no further than Fabry Chevrolet GMC, Highway 61 in St. Francisville. Of course, that entire inventory is online at FabryChevrolet.com, FabryChevrolet.com.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Want to play baseball or softball like the pros? Then join me this Thursday at Marucci's Hitter's House on Seagan. We'll be broadcasting AFR live, so come take some hacks in the cages and meet our friends over at Marucci, the official bat of Major League Baseball at Marucci's Hitter's House.
I've been in banking for over 35 years. I usually start about 7:30 in the morning, and I usually leave somewhere around 5, or if customers need me to meet them at their house or their business places, I don't mind going after hours. I have done churches, subdivisions, retail centers, hospitals, and nursing homes. And that's why we chose to live in this community, because of the values First American Bank has, that I can serve my community and my customers.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle and cool the crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Nicely done, ice cubes.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Sometimes you ignore the signs, even when they're right in front of you. Problem gambling isn't always easy to spot. Know the signs, set your limit. Learn more about healthy gambling habits by visiting us online, or text or call for free, confidential help now.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith with Locke Meredith Sean Fagan and Associates. We take great pride in educating our clients about their rights. Whether you're injured at work or while you drive, call our office at 272-5555. Knowledge is power, and you should know your rights after an injury.
Hi, I'm Sean Fagan of Locke Meredith Sean Fagan and Associates. When insurance companies have been unfair, we've never been afraid to go to trial. Fighting hard to protect your rights, we never settle a case out of convenience. We only settle when it's right for you. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call.
Flight by Yingling is raising the bar by crafting the next generation of light beer.
This is the Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
March Madness is heading to Las Vegas, and LouisianaSports.net is sending one of you plus a friend with it. We're giving away a 3-night Las Vegas getaway from Wednesday, March 18th through Saturday, March 21st, just in time to watch all the madness. Hotels, stay, and flights covered. All you have to do to enter is head to LouisianaSports.net, click the March Madness getaway link, sign up now before our March Madness Pick'em launches. Get yourself entered, and you could be watching the tournament from Las Vegas instead of your couch. Winners will be announced Monday, March 2nd.
All right, let's talk a little Saints. I have not spent a lot of time diving into mock drafts. I have seen a couple and gone to the Saints pick, and for local reasons have looked for Mansour Lane as well. But I haven't looked at like the rhythm of how the draft could shake out. We're still a good ways away. Like, it feels like it's close because, hey, look, there's the combine, but like, we're still a good ways away from the actual draft. But it is that time of year, and the NFL dominates the news cycle, and I'm looking up at the TV right now, and they're talking about the combine, and everybody's descending on Indianapolis, and we've got coverage coming at LouisianaSports.net from there, and it is time to start discussing it. So I looked at Mel Kiper's mock draft from this morning, and more so than the Saints' actual selection, something else struck me, and it's very, very positive for New Orleans. Let me walk you through this to get to the Saints selection at number 8. Because we know the Saints have needs pretty much all over the board. We know that one of them is not quarterback. Now, the one bummer about this is that it doesn't feel like at this point anybody's running up behind the Raiders at 1 to go get a quarterback. The next quarterback in Mel's mock is Simpson at like 21 or something. It's way back. So usually when you have a quarterback and you're towards the front of the draft, you love when other teams jump up to take quarterbacks that you have no interest in. It bumps guys down to you. That isn't happening in Mel's mock, and I feel like it's pretty unlikely. I don't know that anybody's running to the 6th spot in the draft to go get Ty Simpson. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't see that. But let's walk through this and see what is available to the Saints in this scenario. He's got the Raiders taking Mendoza at quarterback. He's got the Jets taking Caleb Downs at safety. Great player. He's got the Cardinals taking David Bailey, the outside linebacker edge rusher from Texas Tech. He's got the Titans taking Arfel Reese from Ohio State, who's a linebacker edge guy. He's got Spencer Fano, offensive tackle from Utah, going to the Giants. Then the Browns at 6 take Carnell Tate at wide receiver. And the Commanders at 7 take another linebacker. This one is Sonny Styles from Ohio State. That leaves the Saints at 8 here. And I wanted to look what's behind the Saints. Like, what would the Saints have the option to do here? Let me just read you, starting with the Saints pick, which Mel has them taking Mekhi Lemon, the wide receiver from USC. I'm okay with that. But he's an option, obviously. Look at the names still on the board when the Saints pick at this spot. The 9th pick is Jeremiah Love to the Chiefs. The 10th pick is Ruben Bain from Miami, the edge rusher to the Bengals. The 11th pick is Francis Mauigoa, the tackle/guard from Miami, who everyone thinks is going to be a stud. Mansour Delane goes 12 here to the Cowboys, the corner. And then Jermod McCoy goes to the Rams here, the other corner from Tennessee at 13. And then Jordan Tyson goes 14 to Arizona State. In the 6 picks after the Saints make a selection of a guy that I think fits in and is a good player in Mekhi Lemon, the Saints could absolutely take Jeremiah Love. They could absolutely take Ruben Bain. They could absolutely take Francis Mauigoa. They could absolutely take Mansour Delane. They could absolutely take Jermod McCoy. And they could absolutely take Jordan Tyson. All of those picks I would look at and go, that's good. And in this scenario, they're all there. And it's an interesting spot the Saints are in because they have the flexibility. Like 2 years ago, you looked at this thing, or 3 years ago, and you're like, they're going to have to take a tackle in this spot. And probably the same thing 2 years ago when they've done it 2 years in a row with Penning, and they did it in that case with Fuaga, and then Banks was next. But you felt like they were a little bit pigeonholed. They're really not. And so what it comes down to is, in this scenario, I don't think it's ludicrous to suggest that those 6 guys I just rattled off, like 4 will be really good and 2 will be stars. I mean, they're top 15 picks in the draft, right? Maybe there's a bust or 2. The Saints have certainly had their fair share of busts in the first round. So maybe my math is off. Maybe it's 2 stars, 2 really good, a fringe starter, and a bust. But there's not 4 busts I just rattled off there. And they're all at like perceived positions of need for the Saints, and I could be on board with any of them. Jordan Tyson's interesting right now because of the injury that's holding him out of the combine. And Mauigoa would be another offensive lineman, which you continue to do. And Jeremiah Love's controversial because of the position he plays. Bain is a little bit on the short side for that spot, 6'3". Like, I can come up with the little counter argument, but like these are big-time college players, and they're all on the board. And so in this scenario, like, you don't have to look at it and go, oh, gosh, I hope he falls. I hope that guy falls. I'm talking about 6 options here. And the fact of the matter is that 1 or 2 of those guys is probably going to go ahead of the Saints, but who's it at the expense of? Carnell Tate, who falls to you? Arvell Reese falls to you? Like, I don't, that's a possibility because there are only so many picks in front of you. There's just 7. So you wish it was quarterback, but in fact, I think the depth of this draft at the top is just really, really good. And as I continue, it was just an interesting, like, thing for my eyes and my brain to work together on as I was scrolling down the ESPN article, because I got Mekhi Lemon to the Saints at 8. And then I scrolled down, I was like, oh, there's Jeremiah Love next. And I was like, oh, there's Ruben Bain next. Like, oh, there's Mauigoa next. There's Mansour Delane next. Like, it just kept happening. I was like, okay, that works. I feel like the Saints are in such a good spot in this draft. And it goes back to the point that we were talking about in the season of, like, winning a couple of games, because I just don't think that winning those couple of games late and maybe costing yourself 3 spots in the draft, like, for a quarterback, that's a huge deal because your grades are going to be wildly different and like you're going to prioritize this guy over that guy, and like if he's gone, it's over. In this case, the Saints moving back from like 3 or 4 to 8, it hasn't hurt at all. Look at the volume of players that are sitting right there for you in this spot. And now the Saints brass has an opportunity to really, really heavily scout the 14 guys in this mix. Really sink your resources into it and make sure that you've got 2 or 3 that you pounce on and then hit best available on your board. There's a varying degrees of confidence in the Saints front office from the fan base right now. There was a time 5 years ago, pretty high. There was a time 6 months ago, excruciatingly low. And you feel like just because that Shuck pick feels really good, and look, they're up for an award this week at the Combine, Best Draft of 2025, and I would give it to them. Like, I'm not an expert on all the drafts throughout the league, but like, I would have a hard time believing that many teams did significantly better than the Saints did. It wouldn't surprise me at all if they won that award. And so you got that plus the late season wins, and now the confidence starts to come back a little bit. And then you look at what's possible here. When you have the 26th pick, one, you've had a pretty good year, but two, these mock drafts are brutal because there's too much volatility with 25 picks in front of you. You got 7 picks in front of you. You got a pretty decent idea of how this thing's going to shake out. If a guy's not the 2nd pick, he's the 5th pick. It's not there either way. And if the guys that are likely there in this scenario are probably going to be there when the Saints pick, it's a very, very positive position for the Saints to be in. And they've got an opportunity in this spot to grab a Pro Bowl caliber player early in this player's career, no matter really where that spot is. That's the expectation when you pick in the 8th spot. I hope they don't pick 8th again for a long time, but you're in it now, and this looks like a really good spot for the organization. Jordan, you let me rattle through all that. That's a lot of good names.
It's a lot of good names, and that's why you're sitting there at the end of the rainbow, like the little leprechaun sitting there with a pot of gold. You really can go best player available. As the days go on, I'm liking Lemon even more because, seeing what Tyson sitting out of the Combine, at least Lemon's going to show up and be there. I like to see that. They said he might not run a 40, so, we'll see. But I understand he's a smaller receiver on that end. But if you're really bought in with Vele, not saying you're bought in because he's like 28, 27 years old, but if you really think you're going to run it back with Vele, then he's not a Rashid Shaheed because people are like, oh, well, we already had the 2 small receivers, but Lemon's more of an actual receiver than Shaheed is. Like, his hands are like he actually won the blitz.
He's closer to Olave than Shaheed.
Than Shaheed, so it can work. It's just you're going to have you don't want to be the team that drafts the bust out of all those picks. Like, you don't want to be when we're looking back at it, seeing all these names like,
well, that'll be on the Saints because there will be dudes that go after the Saints pick, like dudes that go after that pick, and if you don't have one, that'll look pretty poorly.
Oh, most definitely, because again, we've seen what happened like when they drafted Jalen Reagor, the Eagles drafted Jalen Reagor and left Justin Jefferson on the board.
Yep.
Like, there's all these guys, another draft where it's still deep, just like that. You don't want to be the team that selects this guy and then the guy after that's an all-pro Hall of Famer, Pat Surtain type of ordeal. So, man, I just think Lemon, I'm like Lemon. Lemon's cool, but you just got to take best player available.
It's a good spot. The Saints are in at 8. I know that they're going to have an opportunity to do something really good. It's just a matter of whether or not the front office can make that happen. We shall see. We'll talk some Tigers with Glenn West coming up next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
February's Heart Month. It's a great time to focus on your overall health and your wellness. My friends at Auctioner want to make sure that you do. Heart disease is the #1 cause of death for men and women, but so often it is preventable. Try to manage your stress if you can. Try to get enough sleep. Avoid smoking, limit alcohol, and stay active. Get your regular exercise, eat that balanced diet that's rich in fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and contact your primary care provider. They're your partner in prevention, helping monitor blood pressure, cholesterol, overall heart health. Get those regular checkups because early detection and guidance can keep you on track for a healthy heart. Make your heart health a priority in this Heart Month. Schedule your primary care appointment at auctioner.org/BR. Primary small steps today lead to a stronger heart tomorrow. Check in with your doctors. Make sure you're on track for a healthy 2026. There are locations throughout Louisiana. You can find them online at auctioner.org.
I'm Lawyer Locke Meredith.
If you're battling an insurance company because of a wreck not your fault and they're not calling you back or being fair, whether you hire us at all, give us a call, 272-5555, or email Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates. You have nothing to lose.
Hello, I'm Collins Meredith. If you've been injured on the job, you'll likely have a workers' compensation claim, but you may also have a tort claim, which opens up significant recovery rights not normally available for a work injury. If this is you, call us or come see us at Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates.
When it comes to industrial construction, River Parish contractors can do it all. Mechanical, structural, custom fabrication, specialized welding, and turnaround services. Strategically located in between Baton Rouge and New Orleans, we have the local team with the experience and commitment to safety to manage the most complex industrial projects. Period. Here's the deal. Partnering with us means your project is delivered on time, on budget, and most important, safely. River Parish Contractors, let's get building.
At Raising Cane's, we hand batter every chicken finger, mix every cane sauce, butter every Texas toast, stir every slaw, and salt every fry. Because when you do it right, you can taste it in every bite. Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Most roofers just replace your shingles. At Pelican, we diagnose your roof, digging deep down to find the root cause of your roof symptoms. Now cough for me? Good. We don't ignore your roof's issues, we address them. Let's just take care of this right here, helping your roof to become the best version of itself. Interesting that you would say that. How does that make you feel? So call Pelican Roofing for your free roof checkup today.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. Propane water heaters are very cost efficient, and the savings are even greater with a tankless propane water heater. We all know that Louisiana propane is a safe and environmentally friendly fuel. So why not go green while you save some green? I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and for more information, visit louisianapropane.com.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience or elevate your daily routine with a spa-worthy bathroom retreat. Our skilled team brings 3D modeling to life to ensure your vision becomes a reality. We believe luxury should be accepted.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Moving right along on this Tuesday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show. Glenn West, senior writer at Go247, joins us on Tuesdays talking Tigers. He's here with us now on the Tim's Firearms Hotline. Glenn, how are you?
Doing great, Hunt. How about yourself?
Doing all right. Is LSU going to win in basketball tomorrow? Ole Miss isn't that good.
Look, they have a shot, right? I mean, they played pretty competitively in these last couple of games against teams that, quite honestly, probably should have beaten them by 15 points or so. But they've been hanging around in some of these games. It's just going to come down to the final 5-minute stretches there that they just haven't been able to put together enough offense. And I think that they have some opportunities to have success against Ole Miss, but it's just they're in a bad funk right now, and it doesn't feel safe picking them in any game going forward. But I think they'll have a shot tomorrow at Ole Miss. Yeah.
Do you think they'll win another game?
I think they'll win one of their next 4. Yes.
Okay.
I think they'll get one more, and I think honestly, Ole Miss might be their best opportunity. So let's go for it. Yes, I see LSU wins tomorrow.
Brimming with positivity. We love to hear that from Glenn West. You want some more positivity? Check him out at Go247. Let's talk some baseball. What'd you learn over the weekend in Jacksonville?
Yeah, I thought it was a really productive weekend. Obviously, when you leave 3-0 and you beat the 3 teams by a combined score of 34-11, there's going to be a lot of positive vibes coming out. I thought, for me, the starting pitching took a step up. I think outside of one inning from Kason Evans and 1 inning from Cooper Moore, it was a pretty flawless, kind of 15 innings or so that those guys pitched over the weekend. Obviously, William Schmidt was the headline there on Sunday with his performance. Got out of some trouble there late in the game, which you like to see from him in terms of his development. I think for me, though, one of the things that's kind of becoming an interesting question with this group, and it's going to be over at second base and kind of what happens when Chris Stanfield gets healthy, because I just don't think Seth Darter is a guy that you can take out of the lineup right now at second. I know Braden Simpson's been getting some work over there, and so has Tanner Reeves, but those guys have been playing really in left field since Stanfield's injury. And so what kind of happens when Stanfield does come back with both Simpson and Reeves, I think is going to be very interesting to see how they mix in those at-bats for those guys, because, in Simpson's case, too, he's been swinging the bat really well over the last week or so. So it's a good problem to have if you're LSU, but, I think we kind of have an understanding of what this lineup's going to look like when Chris Stanfield gets back, but it's just going to be about who else kind of steps up in terms of those DH bats and what kind of opportunities are still there for guys like Simpson and Reeves with, Darter playing the way that he is.
Would you play Darter at second every day?
I would, yeah, until he's, until he inevitably probably hits a little bit of a rut, and then maybe you can, get some other guys in there. But I mean, he's batting .400 with 10 RBIs, a couple home runs, has 6 extra base hits. I think through these first 8 games. So he's not only giving you something from the plate in terms of just consistency, but also some power and some extra base hits, and just really moving the offense forward well. So I would certainly keep Darter in there until further notice.
On the mound, you mentioned Schmidt. What did you think of his Sunday effort, and what do you think the prospects are of him moving forward?
Yeah, I think he looked really good on Sunday. I thought, he got into that trouble there in the 4th inning, allowing a leadoff double, but then comes back with, 3 straight strikeouts. He had, the trouble there in the 5th inning where there was 2 runners in scoring position with 2 outs, and he gets the big out there, makes the big pitch there. Those are situations that maybe last year would have snowballed on him a little bit. He would have, not been able to finish that inning or allowed a couple runs to come through. And so, getting those kinds of small wins, I think, is really important for him. It's something that both he and Jay Johnson talked about after the game when I, listened to the press conference there from Jacksonville. So a really nice, positive development here. If he can keep this going, the question marks are going to be, okay, now that you have one of those outings under your belt, can you do it a second time? Can you do it a third time and a fourth time? I think the consistency element is now what comes into play with Schmidt, because, we've seen the talent, and now we've seen what he can do for a full outing when he's out there and throwing the ball the way that he is. So I'm excited about him. I think, coming into the year, he was a guy that I had pegged, and I'm sure many others had pegged as like kind of one of the bigger X factors on the entire team. And if he continues to pitch the way that he did on Sunday, it's going to be very difficult for LSU to not continue starting him, and certainly for opponents to have success against this pitching staff.
What about Kason Evans through 2 weeks?
Yeah, I mean, look, he's had some rough moments. He's had some rough spots where he's gotten touched up a little bit, but I'm still a big believer in what he can do and what he can be for this team long term. I'm certainly not out on him being a starter yet. I think he just needs some more opportunities, and these are kind of what the non-conference is for. And so, I would continue starting Kason. I think he's I think I can't quite remember what he did on Friday outside of, maybe one inning where he, got hit a little bit, but bounced back, I think, in the 4th and 5th innings and put up a couple of zeros, and, to kind of close his outing out in the right way. So, he's somebody that didn't pitch a whole ton in the fall. He didn't pitch a whole ton last summer either. So, I think there's probably a little bit more leeway there with him in terms of just getting him into the grind of the season and him getting used to being a starting pitcher. But he pitched in so many big moments for LSU last year that I don't have any long-term concerns about him or anything. I just think he needs some more experience under his belt as a starter, and LSU's going to continue rolling him out there, I think.
This may be kind of an obvious question, but just your thoughts generally. Like, how much, when you evaluate what the staff has done and look at the schedule, do you just kind of put trust in Yeskie and Jay Johnson to figure it out? Like, how much of that is your analysis of the pitching staff?
Yeah, I think it's a big part, because those guys obviously know what they're doing. They've had really great success here the last couple of years, and have had success in different ways too. I mean, like, I think this pitching staff is going to look a little bit different than last year. I don't know that you're going to have to ask Case and Evans to go 7 or 8 innings into a game like you did last year with Cade Anderson and Anthony Ianson. I think that there's real depth in this pitching staff that they're finding more and more about on a game-to-game basis. And, that really plays into this group's hands well. I think that's one of the bigger takeaways that I've kind of taken from Jay Johnson and kind of the totality of his press conferences and just the way that he talks. This is a group that's not going to have to, I think, rely on some of these guys to have to play so big roles on a game-to-game basis from the mound, because they feel like they have a really good offense with really consistent hitting. And if those guys just on the mound just go out there and do their job once, twice through the rotation, I think that they feel very confident of handing it off to the next guy. And I think that's maybe a little bit of a different way of winning than they have had here in recent years.
No Zach Cowan, no Jaden Newt over the weekend. Do you expect to see them this evening?
Yeah, I think so. I think those two. I think Reagan Ricken's a guy that you'd love to get out there for some more time on the mound, and I think those are 3 guys that you could certainly see. I think Zion Theophilus is a freshman. Has been really impressive to me, and I think he had the one outing last week where he issued a couple walks, but everybody I talked to that says he's just been a consistent strike thrower for LSU going back to the fall. So he's somebody that I think is going to get some opportunities tonight as well. And that's what these midweek games are for, is to get a lot of guys involved, maybe in the game plan that didn't get involved over the weekend. And so you can hopefully get some outings out there, some outings for Cowan in particular, some innings in particular for him that he can build on for this weekend, because they're going to need him to be sharp going forward. Like, he's going to have to still be a big part of this bullpen. Hasn't been the cleanest start for him this year. I'm sure as he'd like to through 2 outings, but I think this is a perfect opportunity to get some zeros up there and build some momentum and confidence going into this weekend.
Total gear shift on you here over to the football and the combine, but LSU sending more than 10 to the combine. Anybody that you're going to be curious to watch some numbers on, or be curious on their evaluation up in Indianapolis?
Yeah, I think for me, and I wrote about this morning, Harold Perkins is a guy that I think just can thrive in this setting. I mean, he's obviously an elite athlete. He's got great measurements in terms of his speed and his quickness, and certainly his ability to make plays. I think he's somebody that can certainly thrive and build on some draft stock here this week. I think the linebackers go on Thursday, Friday, so he'll be one of the first players for LSU that's in Indianapolis and watching. So I'll be interested to see what kind of 40 time he runs, what kind of news comes out about NFL teams and where they think he could go. And then certainly Garrett Nussmeier is another one where can he continue to build on that performance there at the Senior Bowl in that week. I think he's somebody that is kind of firmly in that day 2 range, but can he continue to kind of raise his stock a little bit more and maybe get into that QB3 conversation behind Mendoza and a couple other guys.
Let's hope so. I'm pulling for Garrett after a tough senior season. Let's hope he can build on a good Senior Bowl week and have a good combine as well. If you want to read about it, you can at Go 24/7, team coverage, recruiting coverage as well. Glenn and the crew have you covered over there. He's with us on Tuesdays. Thanks, man.
All right. Thanks, Hunt.
Let me remind you about my friends at Boudreaux's Electrical Services. They don't call it over-planning at Boudreaux's Electrical Services. They call it foresight. Be prepared for the next power outage with the Generac Home Standby Generator. That power outage might come from a hurricane, might come from one of those nasty afternoon thunder showers we have, might come from a winter event. But you don't have to worry about any of that, because your home standby generator is going to kick on and you'll be unaffected. After sensing a power outage, the Generac Home Standby Generator automatically restores that home's power, whether you're home or away. And that's great, because might be at home when that happens. You're not interrupted. You might evacuate for a hurricane. And how awful is it when you come back and the house is 98 degrees and the fridge hadn't been running and you got to throw everything out? It's just a nightmare. But if you do leave town and come back after a storm and the generator's been running, you come back to a home that's like you never left. Call my friends at Boudreaux's Electrical Services. Neil and Melissa have been running this thing for 40 years. It's a local shop in an industry that's kind of been bought up by the national folks, not Boudreaux's Electrical. They've been at it for 40 years. So go ahead and stop by their location down there in Donaldsonville. Got another one in Gonzales as well. You can always give them a call. 985-397-1562. 985-397-1562 or 225-300-9389. That is my friends at Boudreaux's Electrical Services. We will come back, close out the hour. Got some news on the positive side for LSU Hoops last night. We'll talk about it next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
From Boudreaux's to First American Bank and Trust. First American Bank and Trust started up in 1910, still here 116 years later, 25 locations throughout Southeast Louisiana, so there's always one near you. You got a commercial loan that you're looking to get? First American Bank and Trust. Got a personal loan you're looking to get? First American Bank and Trust. Why? Why would you go with First American Bank and Trust? Well, every decision that's made at First American Bank and Trust is made locally. The folks that work at First American Bank and Trust, they're local. They're part of your community. In fact, their management averages 25 years with the bank. It's that community feel that you're looking for when people are making decisions about your business, about your home. And they've got the resources necessary to provide the services that you're looking for. That's why they got 25 locations throughout the Southeast. So whether you're in St. Tammany, Tangipahoa, right here in Baton Rouge, Dutchtown, Jones Creek, St. James, St. John, Lafourche, wherever you are, there's a location near you at First American Bank and Trust. All decisions made locally by people in your community. Keep that in mind. It's First American Bank and Trust.
If your office is experiencing performance issues like slow networks, jammed printers, or disappearing files, Advanced Office Systems may be right for you. With powerful IT solutions, print management, document imaging, and security systems, they help offices regain confidence naturally. Side effects may include uncontrollable efficiency, smoother workflows, and a sudden burst of office joy. Say goodbye to those emotional breakdowns in the supply closet and get back on track with Advanced Office Systems.
Lock Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates has won for our clients over $175 million over the decades, but our greatest success is our clients who have chosen and trusted us to help them. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call. You've got nothing to lose. Hi, I'm Sean Fagan. If you get injured, you could be staring at medical bills, repair costs, and lost income. Life can be turned upside down. At Lock Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates, we'll work to turn your world right side up. Hire us, and like thousands of our clients, you'll be glad you did.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
The Cane's Box Combo, a symphony of flavors. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love.
Okay, and what is our goal?
Less than 110.
That's right, less than 110.
We teach. We laugh. We pray.
Dear Heavenly Father, please guide our hands during this procedure.
Hey, how we feeling today?
I'm feeling better.
We heal. You look better. Happy birthday.
Thanks.
We do all things. I got you. No way. With great.
This is the Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Gotros Outdoor Power, family owned and operated, 22 years in business, Baton Rouge and Gonzales. Of course, you can find them on Airline Highway in Baton Rouge. If you're on Airline Highway and you look over to the side and see that massive mountain of orange equipment, that's Gotros Outdoor Power. They've got the largest parts inventory in the state of Louisiana, and they're the largest hustler inventory in the state by a long, long shot. Look, they've got trucks on the road all day long, all over the state. So if you don't have a trailer and you need to buy a zero-turn mower, they can get that to you quickly. If you're looking for equipment, you're looking for parts, they can get it to you quickly. They've got just an incredible team of on-site helpers that are going to help you get behind the wheel of that zero-turn mower. And they got financing available, 0%. They can get you behind the wheel of a new mower for less than $100 a month. How much do you spend to get that grass cut? Like $75 a week? Get one of those Hustler mowers and handle it yourself. It's about time that the grass is going to start growing around here, so I want to remind you of my good friends over there at Gotros Outdoor Power. Open Monday through Saturday, half days on Saturday, but go by and see them 6 days a week at Gotros Outdoor Power. 2 locations, Baton Rouge and Gonzales. Interesting news last night. I'm scrolling through on the old Twitter machine, and I see that LSU basketball got a commitment, and I honestly wasn't really expecting that. You probably weren't either. So I looked up. It was from Owen Foxwell, whose story is interesting, and it's a new age deal. Owen Foxwell is 6'2". He's a guard. He's from Australia, and he started playing professionally 5 years ago. He's a 22-year-old that will be a freshman next year. Now, I'm aware, just as you are, things can change here, right? No one's burying their head in the sand on this. But this is a guy who averaged 20 points a game on a championship team last year in Australia. This year, he's playing for Southeast Melbourne Phoenix, averaging 11 points and 4.5 assists. His brother, Joel, plays for Portland, where McKinnon comes from. And he's averaging 16 points per game at Portland. He dropped 26 on Gonzaga back on February the 4th. So this is a guy that's got obviously roots in Australia. David Patrick has roots in Australia, and LSU has been committed to trying to go out and find some international players. Of course, Ron Zipper has not gotten a lot of time this year, but you do have some international flavor on this roster. McKinnon is an Aussie. Obviously, Pablo Tamba is an international player, and they go out and get Owen Foxwell. The guys who study this kind of stuff say he's a really good player and a really good scorer. But again, we know that the next 3 weeks could involve some upheaval with LSU basketball. They could not. I don't know. And we've heard Matt talk about this, Matt Moscona, not Matt McMahon. Matt Moscona say, look, you've got to make some financial decisions here. We've heard Verge Osbury speak on this and say, hey, look, LSU basketball should be in the NCAA tournament. Well, you're looking at a basketball team right now that is in dead last in the SEC and has lost 5 games in a row, has lost 8 out of 9, and is currently 2-12 in the league. So it's a situation where Matt McMahon's got 3 high schoolers, and this player is an international guy signed or committed in this class. And if LSU decides that they want to continue with Matt McMahon, like that's the group that is going to come with him. But no one is blind to LSU's record at this point, being 2-12 in the league. You're going on the road tomorrow to play Ole Miss. You got a home game against a terrible Oklahoma team, and then you're at Auburn, and then you play Texas A&M. So look, you got 4 games to go, 2 at home, 2 on the road. None against the very, very top of the league. A&M is close to that echelon, but this is a very possible 2-16 team in year 4. At best, it's 3-15. Like, that's best case scenario. If you got them winning 2 more games, I'd like to kind of understand how. But I hope they win 4 more games. But it's a deal where it's hard to throw your hands around a recruiting win at this point, looking at the basketball program in the state that it's in, considering that over the course of the last 9 games, your only win is an overtime win over a South Carolina team that is putrid. So it's been a tough go for LSU basketball. Everyone's aware of that. Like, they played on Saturday. I mentioned it for 11 seconds. We did not mention the LSU-Bama basketball game one time on Friday's show. Like, y'all know it pains me to do that. I want to talk about the basketball team. I want to pay attention to basketball. I want to be breaking down bracketologies and looking at the bubble, and I want to be invested in that. But the fact of the matter is you're just not. You're not even close. So good news for Matt McMahon to get a commitment. We'll see if he ever dribbles a basketball in Baton Rouge or if he hangs out in Melbourne a little bit longer. I guess you're going to see a significant influx of international players into the collegiate ranks as long as the money's this good, and as long as you can come in at 22 years of age and play in the college ranks as a freshman at 23. That's a pretty good gig if you can get it, if it pays pretty well. We'll see if Owen Foxwell ever plays a game in Baton Rouge. That, I guess, remains to be seen. Missed any of our first hour? Catch it on demand wherever you find your sound. Open the show. Kind of talking about Stephen Milam. We got a column up on LouisianaSports.net talking about how he doesn't grab any headlines, but that's what makes him so good, is that he just does the little things that don't necessarily show up. I talked a little about that. Saints mock draft. They're going to have some really great options. Talked about that. You can find it at Hunt on Saints. Glenn West talking Tigers with us in a little basketball as well. Plenty to do after we pause for SportsCenter in hour number 2. Preview LSU and McNeese tonight. A couple guys that I want to see excel. Got some key college football returners for this coming season. Sharif Eichstack talking Saints as well after SportsCenter.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Marucci. Go check it out. Go take a tour at Marucci. Such a great tour. It's an awesome facility, and it's just such a cool thing to watch where they cut 1,200 bats every day. And now you realize that spring training is underway. They're sending them to the Texas League, to the Cactus League, to the Grapefruit League. You'll have a lot of folks swinging Marucci bats in the World Baseball Classic, LSU, of course, as well. And if you'd like to go see where they do all of that, you can over at Marucci. Check them out at maruccisports.com/campus-tour and buy your tickets. Every single ticket comes with a 20% discount in the campus tour store and in the hitter's house. You want to go in there and take some hacks with a youth baseball team, youth softball team? You can do that over at Marucci. Go see where they make the official bat of Major League Baseball. What a gem here in Baton Rouge. They're online at maruccisports.com/campus-tour. That's maruccisports.com.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
If your office is experiencing performance issues like slow networks, jammed printers, or disappearing files, Advanced Office Systems may be right for you. With powerful IT solutions, print management, document imaging, and security systems, they help offices regain confidence naturally. Side effects may include uncontrollable efficiency, smoother workflows, and a sudden burst of office joy. Say goodbye to those emotional breakdowns in the supply closet and get back on track with Advanced Office Systems.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle and cool the crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Nicely done, ice cubes.
At Raising Cane's, we hand batter every chicken finger, mix every cane sauce, butter every Texas toast, stir every slaw, and salt every fry. Because when you do it right, you can taste it in every bite. Raising Cane's chicken fingers. One love.
I'm Lawyer Locke Meredith. We are honored and humbled to receive from our clients in Google, based on 5-star client reviews, the designation of our law firm is highly recommended. Whether you hire us at all, please give us a call, 272-5555. You have nothing to lose.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith. Injuries happen when you least expect them to, making your life more complicated. At Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan & Associates, we know this, and we strive to help each of our clients during these times. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call at 272-5555.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here, we eat out here, we watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient. And you will have your pool in no time.
Supreme Jasmine is premium American-grown rice. From local farms to your table, every grain is supreme. Pick up a bag of Jasmine or any other of our Supreme American rice.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. At the NFL Combine, Raiders GM John Spytek told reporters today he expects star defensive end Max Crosby to remain with the team in 2026 amid trade speculation. Added he's got a great relationship with Crosby and the two have had great conversations. For the second straight NFL offseason, the Steelers await a decision from quarterback Aaron Rodgers. It took until June of last year before Rodgers finally agreed on a one-year contract. Steelers don't think a decision will take as long this year, and they're certainly open to having the 42-year-old return, according to GM Omar Khan.
We had a great experience with Aaron last year, and I think we went into it last year. I think everybody just expected it to be a one-year thing. You know, right. We obviously didn't say it. We didn't close the door on it being longer last year, but you know, with where everything was, it was really a good experience. Aaron was great to have around. He was a great teammate.
Pittsburgh GM Omar Khan on the Rich Eisen Show. The Jets will use one of their tags on running back Breece Hall if they can't reach an agreement with him before next Tuesday's deadline. The Falcons have informed quarterback Kirk Cousins that he'll be released on March 11th.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy, coming on Wednesday. Kirk Cousins is scheduled to be released. I'll tell you what team is the best landing spot for him this offseason. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Now, the Hunt Palmer Show.
Yes! I feel like I've been waiting for this my entire life.
You're listening to the Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Jolly good fun. Jolly good.
Locking down the middle of the day.
America's favorite daytime fun show.
Live from the Raising Cane studio. This is Hunt Palmer.
Hour 2, Tuesday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Sharif Ishak, bottom of the hour, talking Saints. NFL Combine is cranking up today from Indianapolis. We'll talk a little bit about that with Sharif. I want to remind you, come on out and see us this Tuesday evening, which is tonight, obviously, at Court at the Table. Sports Trivia, 8 o'clock. I'll be watching LSU baseball, which will be at the box. But if you're not headed out there, come on to Court at the Table. For Sports Trivia, we'll have 5 rounds, live-action sports trivia. You can win gift cards, have awesome food, great drinks as well. We always have a good time, so hope to see you out there at Court at the Table this evening. We start at 8 o'clock, usually done right about 9:15. We're not there all hours of the night, just there to knock out some rounds of fun trivia, usually an LSU football round, and give out some gift cards and get on home. So come see us, Court at the Table on Burbank for Sports Trivia tonight. Speaking of tonight, LSU and McNeese from the box. I want to say 6:30 first pitch. Generally speaking, that's when the midweek games are. I'm always hesitant now. It was always 6:30 during the Maneri era and early on in the J era. Now we're playing sometimes at 1, sometimes at 2. You never know in February, but 6:30 first pitch, LSU and McNeese tonight. McNeese off to a bit of a clunky start. They're 2-5. They got swept over the weekend by Kansas in a very poor offensive weekend for them. Scored a total of 5 runs in 3 games. Only had 3 extra base hits in the 3 games against Kansas. That was in Lake Charles, Kansas, that game down here. Get out of the weather. They had a decent start to the season offensively. They had 48 hits in their first 4 games. They played Sam Houston and then beat Louisiana Tech in the midweek. But Kansas really doused those Flames offensively pretty quickly. I'm not too concerned with McNeese at this point. I'm concerned with LSU and going out there and playing. I thought it was interesting. Jay Johnson said in a press setting the other day that he's kind of made it a career goal to go undefeated in the midweek. And last year they almost did it. They lost 1 game in run rule fashion, actually, to Northwestern State. Hand up, that was my vacation week. and we had some fun out at dinner and like played some games as a family, and we're out on the beach and taking pictures and whatnot. And like I didn't pay attention to the game, and I woke up the next morning to go play golf with my dad, and I pulled up the score on my phone and went, "Oh, sorry, I missed that one." 13-3 Northwestern State beat LSU. There's a lightning delay involved. It was shortened to 7 innings for the run rule. Bad effort, but they were great in every other midweek game. They had a lot of games where they jumped on teams in the first inning and played really well. So Jay usually has his guys ready to go in this game. There are some things that I'll be looking for in the game tonight. Jaden Newt and Zach Cowan did not pitch over the weekend in Jacksonville. Both of them very early on, but both of them sport 9 exactly ERAs. These guys are better than that, and I think you're going to see both of those guys in the game tonight. Cowan's been hit hard. He's pitched 2 innings over 2 appearances, and he's given up 7 hits, including a double and a home run. He's only walked 1 guy, but he's leaving the ball up, and they're hitting it hard, and he needs to do a better job than that. The good news is he has got a 2-year track record here, okay? You're talking about a year as Wofford's Friday guy where he was really good, and then last year at LSU's bullpen where he was really good. So I'm not concerned that he's forgotten how to pitch or that he's been passed up, or like he's got to earn his innings. There's no doubt on the staff this deep, you've got to earn your innings, but he's got to keep the ball down. He's got to throw his fastball for strikes. He's got to throw his changeup down and at times out of the zone. He's got to get that weak contact that he gets a lot. And I think you'll see him potentially starting tonight and needs to be a little bit better. Jaden Newt started the Kent State game last week, gave up 3 runs on 3 hits and 3 walks in 3 innings. I think it's safe to suggest that Kent State's decent. I'm not going to say they're great, but they're decent. So we'll forgive Newt to an extent. You give up that kid that hits second for him is a monster, and he hit that ball way up off the scoreboard off Newt last Monday. So he's got to be a little bit better, and this is I would imagine that Kent State's better than McNeese. Those 2 guys, I would imagine you'll see for 2 or 3 innings apiece, trying to stretch them out and make sure that they get things back on track. Probably a good chance you see Reagan Ricken, too, based on what he did last week in the midweek. Really threw it great. And then obviously didn't pitch in Jacksonville after having pitched on Wednesday. I think you'll see him for an inning, maybe 2 tonight. Maybe he starts tonight because Jay Johnson wants to see a little bit more of that. But these are the 3 guys that didn't do much over the weekend, and I think that they're likely to get the baseball tonight in some capacity. The other thing I'm looking at, just big picture in this game tonight, is just defense. Tanner Reeves has played some left field. He made 2 errors out there in left field, so they went to Braden Simpson out in left. Seth Dardart plays really hard at second base. He's made some good stops, diving especially to his left. His throwing accuracy and just overall rhythm and footwork are not poetry at all, but LSU's got to play defense. You have to play good defense, and in these low leverage, low stress games early in the season against teams that you're better than, that's a time where you got to lock in. You got to play good defense, and I want to watch LSU play catch tonight. Here's a reason, among many. There are lots and lots of reasons why this is a bad matchup for McNeese tonight. One of them is that LSU is very, very good at taking pitches. If you read my piece on LouisianaSports.net with the quote from Notre Dame's coach, the quote from Indiana's coach over the weekend, talking about LSU's plan and approach and execution of that plan and standing there and taking pitches and not extending and all those things. Well, McNeese will spray the ball a little bit. They walked 11 in a game against Sam Houston. They walked 10 in one of the games against Kansas. For the season, they're walking about 8 per game. So if you're going to walk 1 an inning against LSU, you're going to put yourself against the 8 ball. So LSU needs to be selective, take their walks, and go out there and execute against McNeese. First and foremost, you go out there and try to win the game. If you can put yourself in position to do that early in the game, you can get a look at some different things. And I'm all for getting Cade Arambidi off his feet. I'm all for getting at bats to some of these guys who don't start the game, whether it's Reeves, whether it's Simpson, whether you're talking about John Pearson or Omar Cerna. Like maybe Cerna starts, and like I mentioned, get Cade Arambidi off his feet. They haven't hit the traditional cadence of the season yet. You had 2 midweek games last week. You've got 2 midweek games next week because you wrap into Monday with the weekend series, and you got a Wednesday game at Louisiana Lafayette before your final weekend in non-conference. So, like, you haven't gotten to the normal Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Tuesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Tuesday. So everything's a little bit off at this point, from saving your catcher's legs to who in the bullpen needs to get work, or do you have enough days off? The good news is for LSU, in this instance, you play on Tuesday. You do not play Wednesday or Thursday, so a couple days off. If you need to go to Maverick Rizzi here, you can. If you need to go to Gavin Guidry here, you can. If you need to go to Devin Sheeran here, you can. You can go to all those guys without fear of not having them on Friday, and I think that puts you in an advantageous spot. Ideally, you take care of this game, you take control of this game, you win this game in 10-run fashion, you win this game, 7-1, and you can do whatever you want personnel-wise. If you get into a tight game, you need to go to your A relievers. Those guys are certainly available for you in this game. So an advantageous spot for LSU. They've started 8-0 for the first time in the Jay Johnson era, and you look at the rest of the non-conference, it looks pretty advantageous. Like, you're better than McNeese. You're better than Dartmouth. You're better than Northeastern, who's gotten off to a really bad start. They were good last year. They've gotten off to a bad start this year. You're better than Louisiana Lafayette. You're better than these teams that are on the schedule pre-conference. Now, generally speaking, you slip up once. Last year, they slipped up once to Omaha. Stony Brook a couple of years ago got them on a weekend. Usually, there's one pre-conference game where you slip up. Hopefully not. But tonight, you got McNeese coming in. They did not play well over the weekend. You got a bullpen that's kind of ready to go. You got veteran pitchers that need to get some innings that look a little bit better than they have, and got to play defense. You notice I just went through that entire game and didn't give you many keys on offense, other than the fact that LSU walks a lot and McNeese walks a lot of guys. I think LSU's going to hit. I think they're going to hit just about every night they go out there. Inevitably, there are a couple games where the bats fall asleep or you run into a first-round pick. That ain't tonight. So go out there and take control of your business. Handle McNeese. The game's at 6:30. You can catch it on the LSU Sports Radio Network, Eagle 98.1. Not sure who will be on the call tonight. Chris may have already headed off to Oxford. He may be here for one more day and then go on game day to Oxford tomorrow because the basketball team plays Wednesday night. But either way, at 6 o'clock, pregame show, crank up on Eagle 98.1. You can listen to it on our sister station. LSU and McNeese tonight from the box. Take a timeout. When we come back, let's get into the biggest key returner for each top 25 team, specifically for LSU. Who does ESPN think for LSU's 2026 football team is the most key returning player? We'll talk about it next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
One Bath and Closets. OneBathAndClosets.com is the website. David Duvall and his team, 30 years redesigning and remodeling bathrooms and closets. Got one of those big 1990s jacuzzis, takes up a lot of room in your bathroom, and you never use it, or it hasn't worked in 5 years? Well, why is it there? It's a lot of space you're wasting. Take it out. David Duvall and his team can take that tub out, put in a glass walk-in shower. There's plenty of room in that footprint to put in a walk-in shower. Change the aesthetic of your bathroom, change the functionality of your bathroom, add a little value to your home. You're thinking, well, I've got a standalone shower right there. Why would I put another one in? Well, you can take that shower out and put in a linen closet. Use that space more effectively, more efficiently. David Duvall and his team do that kind of stuff all the time. Don't just call the handyman down the street, tell him to start ripping out sheetrock. Call a company that's been at it 30 years, that's licensed and bonded and insured, that has a master plumber on contract. That's what you can do with One Bath and Closet. It starts with a consultation. Just talk to David, tell him what you want. He'll tell you what they can do for you. They got financing options, 0% up to 18 months, same as cash. It's One Bath and Closets. Find them online, onebathandclosets.com.
The Cane's Box Combo, a symphony of flavors. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, one love.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce your environmental impact to help protect our planet. Together, we're fueling our energy future. Atmos Energy.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
I'm lawyer Collins Locke Meredith. Among the most important factors to consider when you're hiring an injury attorney is trust. You trust your attorney will put your interest first, treat you with respect, fairness, and honesty. You trust them to be there for you when you need them. At Lock Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates, thousands of clients have trusted us to represent them, and for good reasons. Please visit us at lockmeredith.com to learn more, and whether you hire us at all, give us a call at 272-5555. You have nothing to lose.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar, but instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Huh. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders, we're learning how to improve the immune health of everyone. That's the power of research. That's the impact of champions. Together, we roar.
When it comes to industrial construction, River Parish Contractors can do it all. Mechanical, structural, custom fabrication, specialized welding, and turnaround services. Strategically located in between Baton Rouge and New Orleans, we have the local team with the experience and commitment to safety to manage the most complex industrial projects. Period. Here's the deal. Partnering with us means your project is delivered on time, on budget, and most important, safely. River Parish Contractors, let's get building.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
How about Swing Easy Golf Club in Baton Rouge? SwingEasyGCBR.com. Got membership options available to you, which can give you perks as far as access to their bays, hours that you're able to use without payment on site at that point. You can host clients, work on your game, or just have some fun on a midweek or a weekend. It's a great, great option as an alternative to the driving range. It's an alternative to traditional 18 holes of golf or 9 holes of golf. And I enjoy the heck out of it. Like, of course, I love going out there and playing golf on a course on a Saturday evening or on a Saturday morning. I love that. And I love going and hitting on the simulator. And they're two different things in my eyes. If you've never tried simulator golf, go check it out. It's not the exact same, but there's a sensation of it that is very, very similar. You hit that shot that's headed right at the pin, it gives you that sensation. You want a car to score, it gives you that. You want just a little bit more efficient way to practice in a controlled environment that doesn't have wind, doesn't have wet grass or dead grass or whatever, bad golf balls, whatever the case may be. You go in there and work on your game for 45 minutes in a controlled environment like that at the driving range setting of the simulator. It's a really, really cool spot. You got beers in there. They got seltzers in there. They got your tunes. They got televisions. You can bring friends. You can work on your game alone. You can go on the weekend. You can go after work. It's a great spot there on Segan at Perkins. Swing Easy Golf Club, online at swingeasygcbr.com. All right, ESPN came up with a piece, key football returning players for each top 25 team entering the 2026 season. And you have to scroll a little bit further than I wanted to scroll to get to LSU, quite frankly. LSU ranked 15th in this ESPN preseason poll. A little early, but that's okay. Also insignificant. But LSU's key player, I went through some names in my head of key returners, and obviously Whit Weeks came to mind, clearly. I think Harlan Berry and Caden Durham came to mind. Trey'Dez Green was right there at the forefront, but none of those was the name listed. The key returner the ESPN listed, DJ Pickett. And, I don't think that's a bad call. DJ Pickett is on a trajectory that we're very comfortable with here in Baton Rouge, very comfortable with here in Louisiana, very comfortable with here in the LSU fan base. He is the next Derek Stingley. He is the next Tre'Davious White. He is the next pick your number one corner that came to LSU, right? There have been plenty of them. And he got on the field last year very quickly, despite the fact that he was undersized in terms of his frame. He's tall, but lanky. And early in the season, teams were headed that direction. Like Ole Miss said, we're coming at DJ Pickett and PJ Woodland. That's where we're not throwing at Mansour Lane. I'm going to ask Lane Kiffin about this if I get an opportunity, because he told the broadcast team entering that game that's what they were going to do. If y'all are unaware of the process with the television broadcast, they sit down with the opposing coaches and players on either Thursday or Friday of game week to get background information to tell stories on the broadcast. And as I was watching the game, LSU Ole Miss, you heard on the telecast them say, Lane Kiffin told us this week they'd identified Delane as maybe the best corner in the country, and they just weren't going to go that direction very often. And they didn't. And they went at PJ Woodland a lot, and he actually came down with a pick. And they went at DJ Pickett a lot, and he came down with an interception that was then called pass interference, and they had some success against him. But as time went on, Pickett started to make more plays. And I thought really had a nice freshman season. I don't know if he was great in coverage in the Texas Bowl, but he was really good much of the year. Big play in the Oklahoma game, big play in the Arkansas game, and obviously had the interception kind of flying through the air in the game against Florida. And now I'm hopeful that that's a guy we're going to see in the spring. This is something that we can see. I don't know how much depth chart stuff we're going to see in the spring. I highly doubt how much scrimmaging we're going to see during the spring. My anticipation, based on nothing but his track record at Ole Miss, is that Lane Kiffin is not going to let us see very much in spring ball, and I'm fine with it. Do I want to see more? Yes. It helps me with my show. It helps me with the website. It helps me to create content if I can see more. Am I entitled to seeing a ton of LSU football practice? I am not. I'm grateful for whatever they can do. The more, the better, but whatever they got to do, get after it. I don't think we're going to see a lot, but what we will be able to see is something. And something is getting out there and seeing what they look like in the pads. And I'm hopeful that DJ Pickett looks a little bigger, looks a little stronger, because his ball skills are great. His height is as good as anybody in the country. And his freshman year was solid. And now he's working with one of the best technicians and developers at the position in the country, if not the best. And so if you can get a sizable jump from DJ Pickett this year, you're talking about adequately replacing Mansour Delane. I'm not suggesting he's the same. I'm not suggesting he's a slam dunk top 15 pick, but I think you could suggest DJ Pickett could play relatively close to the level we saw Mansour Delane play at. And look, that's a very, very high bar. But he's got some physical gifts that you can't teach, and he was not overmatched as a freshman. A lot of freshmen corners, a lot of freshmen offensive linemen, defensive linemen, most freshman quarterbacks are overwhelmed with the game. Running backs assimilate okay, maybe safety, but like corners in man-to-man, especially this day and age where you're facing a lot of like 22, 23-year-olds and you're 18, 19. There's not a lot of 18, 19-year-olds on the field. There are not a lot of 18, 19-year-olds on the basketball court. Not a lot of 18, 19-year-olds on the softball field, on the baseball field. They just don't play a lot. It's a portal era. And Pickett played a lot. So I think it's fair to suggest he takes a jump. And if he does, you've got a true, legit number one corner who is a difficult matchup for everyone because wide receivers don't see 6'5" corners with arms significantly longer than theirs, where you can pressure guys to the line of scrimmage and jam. It's hard to jam if you're DJ Pickett and you're 6'5", $175. Like you're just, even though you can get your arms on people, they can just knock you out of the way at times if they're a 23-year-old man. But if he's able to put on 10, 12, 15 pounds and play the way he did last year, and oh, by the way, those 22-year-olds leave and now he's closer to one of the oldest players on the field, well, that changes the equation. So I can see a case for Trey Green here. Absolutely. I can see a case for Whit Weeks here. Absolutely. I can see a case maybe for, those are probably the ones ahead of Pickett. Caden Durham, Weston Davis, even looking at the center position in Braylon Moore, I think it's a big deal. But I'm okay with Pickett here because we're comfortable with this career arc. We're comfortable with 5-star stud, early playing time, opposite the number one corner, emerges to an all-league player. And when we go to Tampa, as it were, in July for SEC Media Days, DJ Pickett will get first-team preseason all-league. He will. He'll get first-team preseason all-league. Because he's a famous recruit. He played a lot last year because of LSU's reputation at the spot and because of Corey Raymond's reputation, quite frankly, in the SEC, which is a ton of respect for a guy that has continued to churn out superstars at his position group year after year after year after year, and Pickett is next up on the list. And oh, by the way, he's pretty key to this team because you're not very deep at corner. Like, it doesn't take a long time to come down the cornerback pecking order and get to Aiden Anding, who didn't really play last year, and get to Havon Finney, who's an early enrollee, reclassified freshman. That's not exactly you want to be leaning on. You want to lean on Pickett. You want to lean on Woodland. You want Jakeem Jackson to step up. And then you fill the holes behind that adequately with however many corners you need on the field. But Pickett is a big, big deal to this defense, and you got to cover. Got to cover this day and age, and he's really, really good at that. So that's a look at your Fighting Tiger football here on this Tuesday. Reminder, we've got sports trivia tonight at Court to Table, 8 o'clock over there on Burbank. We'll take a time out. We'll come back with Sharif Ishak from WDSU. That's next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Lifetime Roofing, LifetimeRoofingLA.com, LifetimeRoofingLA.com. As of January 1st, Lifetime Roofing is thrilled to offer a lifetime warranty. That lifetime warranty extends to workmanship as well as craftsmanship and materials, backed by Certainteed, one of the oldest and most trusted names in building materials. Lifetime workmanship warranty. You just don't see that a lot. That's the confidence that Lifetime Roofing has in what they're doing. Not only do they have that, they've got 0% financing for up to 18 months. If you're looking to finance your deductible, they can help you with that. Looking to finance a whole roof, they can help you with that. If you're looking to sell your home sometime in 2026 and think, man, probably should put a new roof on that just to check the resale value and make sure that it's where it needs to be. Well, if that's the case, check with Lifetime Roofing. They'll do your inspection. They can handle a new roof. Maybe it's just a repair. Maybe it's just fortifying that roof to add the value that you're looking for to your home. They can help you out. Check them out at LifetimeRoofingLA.com. LifetimeRoofingLA.com.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience or elevate your daily routine with a spa-worthy bathroom retreat. Our skilled team brings 3D modeling to life to ensure your vision becomes a reality. We believe luxury should be accessible and offer tailored solutions to fit your budget without compromising quality. So contact us today for a free estimate. Lacoste & Young Remodeling, providing perfect solutions for your dream home.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith. At Locke Meredith Sean Fagan and Associates, we know each case and client are unique, and that no two cases are the same. But one thing remains constant, and that is our passion to help our clients. After an accident, we know your life has changed, which is why we passionately fight to make you and your family whole. Remember, whether you hire us at all, give us a call at 272-5555. We're here to serve you.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
I'm Gabrielle McLeod on behalf of the Louisiana Propane Dealers. I have spent hundreds of hours preparing for scholarship competitions. That preparation paid off when I won the Fitness and Talent Awards along with the title of Miss Louisiana. The Louisiana Propane Dealers are also pretty talented and want you to be prepared for when the power goes out. Visit LouisianaPropane.com to find out about propane generators and other safety tips. Louisiana Propane, it truly is the fuel for our future.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar, but instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
So last week, obviously, Mardi Gras on Tuesday gave Sharif the week off. He was out doing some reporting, if you want to call it that. He's back a week later. I guess we can get an update on how that went. Join us on the Jim's Firearms Hotline. Sharif, how was Mardi Gras?
It was cool. I was riding on one of the Zulu floats, and it was quite the scene, man. The crowds were record-breaking crowds. I don't think I've ever seen as many people as I've seen on St. Charles and Canal that I saw last week in my life. It was on.
Did you throw a coconut?
No, because I was on the top. So apparently you can't throw coconuts when you're on the top.
A little velocity issue there?
A little concussion issue there.
So you can toss them off the side, but you can't go from 12 feet high?
Yeah, they're empty coconuts, which makes no sense because there are things that are much heavier up there that can hurt people other than coconuts.
Look, I played defense from a 4-year-old for 5 hours on the Sunday before, and he didn't get a concussion, which is good. So I know how that can go. What were you dressed up as?
I was actually I rode in Mad Hatters the week before, and I just used the same costume. It was like an entire flamingo suit with a flamingo hat, like a nice top hat, flamingo top hat. I'll have to send you a picture of it. It was pretty cool.
You didn't get the Olympics assignment?
No, I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to do something different than sports.
Understood. All right. Well, let's talk a little bit about the Saints. The Combine cranks up this week. What's your interest level in the NFL Combine?
0. Never any really interest level. I really call it the underwear Olympics.
Yep.
I understand it. It's there for a reason. It's mostly, to me, I think it's mostly like a way to communicate and just this is where the deals are done, I think, in terms of who's going to be signed, which agents are going to see their players sign with the team. I think that's the most important part of the NFL Combine week. This is where we see where deals are made. Look, I understand some of these guys get a chance to see their stock rise, but dude, if you could play football in pads on Saturday, then you could play football on Sunday. Running around with your shorts and a shirt on, catching passes, chasing after, a tackling dummy, that really does nothing for me. I mean, I obviously have never played the game, but just looking at it, it's whatever. What is it? I mean, nothing. It's, routes on air. It's nothing that's really interesting. The 40-yard dash I love watching, but other than that, I just really take nothing out of it.
All right, well, I'll give you a position. Tell me if you think the Saints are more likely to address it in free agency or in the draft. Guard.
Okay. Free agency for sure. I think they have some money. This would be the best spot. The best time to do it would be in free agency because you look at the top 100 free agents, they got at least 9 guards in there. The Saints can chase them. I mean, David Edwards. I mean, Vera Tucker. There are quite a few guys in there that the Saints can chase down. Isaac from the Steelers, he's good. Isaac Malu, he's good. I mean, those are some guys out there that the Saints can go after and shore up that interior offensive line, because I think that's where it starts, Hunt. They need to figure out the interior offensive line, because that has been an issue for so many years. I mean, Tyler Shuck was able to make it work because he's got the legs to navigate his way around a lot of the pressure. But I think for them to become a better football team offensively, it has to be addressed during free agency.
Running back.
I think that's where my pick is, at number 8, and I think everyone knows who I want, and everybody who's doing a mock draft knows who the guy the Saints should draft, and that should be Jeremiah Love. So if not, at number, let's just say he's not there, maybe they get his teammate Jadarian Price in a later round, because I think he's also a very good running back. But yes, I'll go with the draft.
Wide receiver.
I also think it's draft because it's a deep NFL draft, whether if it's at 8 or if it's the 2nd or 3rd round pick.
Edge rusher.
Also the draft, another position that's kind of deep. So I would do that as well in the NFL draft, 2nd round or 4th round.
Corner.
That's a tricky one. I would try to address that in free agency, because they do have some corners that could be very interesting in Brandon Staley's system.
What if they took Mansour Delane at 8?
That'd be a good pick. Look, if he's there at 8, I mean, I know he's projected to be like top 12. Maybe it's a bit of a high, bit of a reach by like 5 or 6 picks. I wouldn't be mad, but I wouldn't pass up Jeremiah Love for a cornerback.
What position would make you mad if they went there at 8?
Offensive lineman, another offensive tackle. If they do it again, it's going to be very frustrating, knowing that this is a draft where I look at it this way, Hunt. You either are going to pay guys in free agency, or would you much rather have them on a rookie contract for 4 or 5 years, your weapons? I'd much rather do it in the draft, and I'd much rather take care of the offensive line in free agency.
I mean, you talked about, I can understand what you're saying. I'm just playing devil's advocate here. But what if they took Mawanoa from Miami, who everybody thinks is the best offensive lineman in the draft, and plugged him in at left guard?
Oh, man. I mean, Mawanoa is good. I think he's really, really good. I guess you really can't be mad about that. But it's hard for me to see him fall into number 8. I think he's probably going to be gone before then. If he's there, I just know the Saints is just going to run up and sprint to the podium and take him, even if Jeremiah Love's on the board, which is like a gut punch, because that's something they shouldn't do. This team desperately needs weapons in a very bad way, like truly needs so many weapons, and the cheap way to do it is in the draft, because it's so deep in so many areas that they could, get some help.
So we've talked about Cam Jordan and Demario Davis a ton, and we'll just kind of wait on that and wait and see. Alontae Taylor's kind of the next name on that list. Where are you with him right now?
That's tough. I think some team's going to give him some money. I really do think a team's going to give him some money, and he would love to be back here. I mean, they all would love to be back here, but at his age of 27, I think he might get a bigger contract elsewhere. He fit well in the slot here at times, but I still think the Saints are going to fork out a lot of money for Alontae in this situation. I think there's something they can address maybe in cheaper way in a free agency or later in the draft, like a 4th or 5th round pick. But I think that's the one that probably I see signed somewhere else for a bigger contract, in my opinion.
Do you think they feel good enough about Stutzman if Demario Davis walks that he's next up and they don't have to go reach in free agency to fill that spot?
Look, Catherine Terrell and I were talking about this yesterday. That is the one position I'm really worried about if Demario Davis does walk and go to another team, because he did made it seem like he wants to at least take a lap in here and see what it's like in free agency. And I'm a little worried if he goes somewhere else. This team doesn't have that reliable veteran linebacker who can, do what Demario did. I mean, there's not many people in the NFL who could do what Demario did. Pete Werner still hasn't been able to show that he can, and Danny Stutzman was a rookie last year. I wouldn't put it past them to go find a linebacker if Demario does leave, a veteran linebacker. I mean, maybe they go chase down Devin White, they go chase down another young veteran, somebody that can fit in Staley's system. It would be a big loss. I know Demario and Cam both want to be here, but I think for both sides, the money has to be right.
Do you think they're listening to the Saints first here, or do you think that they're going to just wait and then see what the market spills out?
I think they truly will listen to the Saints. I think Cam is more locked into the Saints than I would say the other guys. I think Cam would love to completely finish his career here. I think that he knows that would be odd, but he has said many a time he will not do it on a hometown discount, whether if it's 1 or 2 years. And I don't blame him. I mean, he had a 10.5 sacks last year. I mean, that's like a resurgence for him at his age. But the Saints have to be careful. You don't pay players for what they did now. You have to start paying players for what they can do.
Yep.
I mean, that's the smart way that Mickey and Jeff and company and Kai, that's the way they should look at it now. Not what you did, it's what you can do. I think that's how they have to look at this entire process with every player in free agency.
We'll see if they can get that done. Sharif Ishak, our guest at WDSU. Quick transition over to the Pels. Trade deadline. Alvarado goes. Not much other activity. Reports that they think they have a playoff roster. Like, where are things with that team?
Just getting to the offseason as quickly as possible, as healthy as possible, and seeing what they can do. I mean, truly, do you want to keep this team intact, or do you want to break it apart a little bit and try to trade off some of your pieces? But at least you're starting to see Zion play better offensively. Defensively is a different story. We get to see DeJounte Murray tonight for the first time this season.
Yeah.
Once again, still wait for Trey Murphy to come back and see how this entire thing looks healthy. And look, they might make a nice push in these final 24 games or so down the season. They're not going to make the play-in, but you'd at least get a little sample size and taste of what could be. But does what could be really work for you next year? So I think some significant changes have to come this offseason. They've got to collect some more first-round picks or young players in a trade. I just think it's not working, man. I mean, truly, we keep running it back, and the same thing over and over again. And it's the definition of insanity, and just not working. You got to move on somehow and fix this.
Everybody's on a hockey high after the weekend. Should New Orleans get a hockey team?
Why not, man? Bring in a hockey team. It was fun. It was fun for the 2 games I watched in the Olympics. I did not know a single player's name until I watched these last 2 games.
I watched 2 periods, which were the third period and then the 90 seconds of overtime. I didn't see any of the women's game. Thrilled they won, but I didn't see any of it.
And it was good to win in overtime against Canada the same exact way. But yes, I love to watch hockey, but I will be honest with you, I don't know many players outside of like Sidney Crosby. And that's pretty much
He's a Canadian, and he didn't play, and he lost. So Go back to Canada.
Yeah, there you go. They lost. So, yeah, I don't know much about hockey, but it seems fun. It'd be cool to have a team here. I know they've been kicking around, but I just don't see it.
All right, Sharif. We'll talk next week.
All right, buddy.
Sharif Ishak, WDSU, down in New Orleans, covering the Saints and the Pels. You excited for DeJounte Murray, Jordan?
I mean, I'm excited. Matter of fact, I did a video about him today on the Pelican Scoop. I'm more excited about it's. I mean, is there really anything to be excited about?
1 to 10. 10, you're beside yourself. You can't even wait. 1, you won't watch at all. Where are you?
I'm a 7.
7?
No, I mean, I'm tapped in. It's more about just building good habits, and because it's not much to be looking forward to, but also at the same time, like Sharif said, you can go on a run and lower the chances of that pick being so high. So it's like, that's what I really want. I'd rather the pick fall, 12, 13. I mean, we're not getting it regardless, so it's like might as well be 12, 13 than 5.
What could have been?
Or 1.
Hate to see that.
And so I think DeJounte can definitely get us a couple wins down the stretch.
There we go. There's your Saints and Pelicans talk. Let's close it out next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
At Raising Cane's, we hand batter every chicken finger, mix every cane sauce, butter every Texas toast, stir every slaw, and salt every fry. Because when you do it right, you can taste it in every bite. Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even JB could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast Louisiana. We continue to thrive because of the legacy of JB Falgout.
Everything you need for a stunning garden is at the Plant Barn in Baton Rouge. From trees and shrubs to plants and pottery, the Plant Barn has it all at great prices. Visit us today on Valley Street, right off Perkins Road in South Downs.
After a decade of working in private duty nursing, I know how hard it can be to find compassionate care for the ones that you love the most. So I started Decision Critical, a premier concierge nursing agency, so we can take care of you wherever you are. Our highly skilled nurses provide exceptional care from the comfort of your own home with personalized packages for short-term, long-term, or even around-the-clock care. Visit us at decisioncriticalbr.com and give us a call today to get started.
Sometimes you ignore the signs, even when they're right in front of you. Problem gambling isn't always easy to spot. Know the signs. Set your limit. Learn more about healthy gambling habits by visiting us online or text or call for free confidential help now.
Investing in a new roof doesn't have to be overwhelming. At Pelican Roofing, we offer 0 interest for 21 months because everyone deserves a safe, secure home. Trusted, local, affordable. Pelican Roofing, making quality roofing affordable for South Louisiana families.
Looking for the ultimate game day experience? Come to the Queen Casino in Baton Rouge. Savor game day platters and snacks, plus drink specials at 1717 Kitchen and Cocktail. So come out for game day and let our team make you the MVP. The Queen Casino, where every moment is a win.
This is the Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Excited for tomorrow's show. We'll have Cookie Riley in his normal Wednesday spot. We'll also have my first edition of the SEC Baseball Power Rankings. 2 weeks in, I have not watched everyone play. I have monitored things statistically. I've listened to some podcasts. It probably won't be correct, but there will be effort put behind it. I'll spend some time this evening and certainly tomorrow morning putting it together, and we'll see where things shake out. I think Oklahoma's made a heck of a statement early on. I think there have been some offensive issues for A&M. I think Auburn has done some really good things of late. Florida's starting pitching has kind of been up and down. Georgia had a really nice weekend offensively. Arkansas, good job against Xavier over the weekend. So I've paid attention a good bit. Ole Miss might be better than some people think. They're very old, and their pitching looks pretty good on paper. I like Auburn's Friday night guy as well. I'm going to talk about that on tomorrow's show. So the league is unsurprisingly extremely good. I'm very, very fascinated to see this week. UCLA is going to play 3 SEC teams, and if you're unfamiliar with UCLA, this past weekend, they just took a flamethrower to TCU out in LA. Just crushed TCU for 3 days, basically. Chalowski looks incredible. Like, that's a really, really good team. And it'll be Tennessee and UCLA, game 1 on Friday, and UCLA will go through 2 other SEC teams. Very fascinated to see how that shakes out. And we'll further shape things. Like, outside of the tournaments, the next couple of weeks are kind of a tough watch for SEC baseball. Like LSU's got Northeastern and Dartmouth coming in, and I don't even remember who LSU series is with the last week of non-conference play. That shows you like how locked in I am on LSU baseball, and like I'm not even sure what they do in week 4 just because we all know it's the week before SEC play, and it's just Sacramento State is coming in. And Sacramento State has had a reasonable program over the last couple of years, so it's not like the worst competition you could bring in, but certainly nothing like what you're going to see in the next 2 weeks when LSU plays Vanderbilt and Oklahoma, and then it just keeps on rolling because after that you've got Kentucky, and then you're at Tennessee and at Ole Miss, and you're off and running at that point, you know. But this is, as I said earlier this week, well, actually yesterday, like this is, once you get past that tournament, which LSU just played in their tournament, like it's just not a lot to look forward to until you get to conference play. The team's got to lock in, the coaches have got to lock in, but us who cover the team, you who are fans of the team that are watching the team, you're looking at this going, okay, got 9 more innings with Dartmouth today. All right, let's lock in. It's just not that easy to do, but they will. And then tonight they'll play McNeese. I've got a preview of that game on LouisianaSports.net. I've also got a column up about Steele and Milam at LouisianaSports.net as well, so you can check all that out of that for free. One order of business left to do. It's take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it.
Today's hottest stories in sports, news, and sometimes even Hunt's life. The question is, will he take them or leave them?
All right, so we're going to stay in the Olympic spirit. So star Kevin Durant dismissed the notion that his Olympic career ended in 2024, and he made it clear that he wants to represent Team USA in the 2028 Olympics in Los Angeles. Durant said, and quote, "Hell yeah, I want to play, but I got to stay on top of my game. I want to produce on the floor and make Grant Hill and whoever is making the decision, I want them to put me on the team. But I don't want to be on the team for seniority. I want to still prove I can help the team win." So Durant will be 39 in the 2028 Olympics. So take it or leave it, Durant will be playing in the Olympics in 2028.
I'll take it.
Really? I'll take it.
He's 6'10", and he can shoot.
Facts, and his game is not above the rim or nothing like that. All he needs to do is shoot.
He may not be the best player on the team.
Yeah.
But he could help. And if you think that having experience in that and you're taking 12 guys, like, yeah, I think he'll be on the team.
39, I just feel like such a new day and age now. I guess LeBron really just tore down his barrier where it's like, we're talking 39 years old where guys
Kevin Durant's my age. We were a freshman in college the same time I was at LSU. He was at Texas, obviously. He scored more points than me.
Yeah.
But we were on college campuses at the same time.
Okay, well, mine is Jamar Chase. So moving forward, yes, Jamar Chase. Yes, we played against him in high school. We did beat Rummel my senior year, so yeah, we for the first time in like 25 years too. So.
How? Why didn't Rummel just throw it to him?
Oh, so Rummel's starting quarterback went to Holy Cross and he transferred. It was like one of the first like transfer portal little things that ever happened. He leaves Holy Cross, goes to Rummel. So that game we were fired up. Like our starting quarterback who've been here leads us to go to Rummel, team up with Jamar Chase and who else they had. Whole bunch of other guys.
Was Fulton on that team?
No, he was a 2020. He was 2016.
He was too old.
Yeah, 2018. So yeah, we brought it. So we won on the game winner. So the SEC has fined Kentucky head coach Mark Pope $25,000 for his post-game conduct following the team loss to Auburn. He said, "Mitch, if those MFers try to find me, screw them because I didn't say a word about how they cheated us." So it was, he said that to the athletic director for Kentucky. So is Pope losing it right now? Take it or leave it.
I'm going to leave it, but then he did it. He didn't say anything about the officials into the microphone.
Okay.
But if you've been in a press conference,
it's mics everywhere.
You got the mic right here, and then you step away from the mic and you're walking out, and all the press is still right there. And he said, "Mitch, if those MFers try to find me," well, all the media could just hear him.
Oh,
so Lord. They all just tweeted it. Like, oh, well, here's what Mark Pope just said. Just because you don't say it directly in the microphone, he said it in front of 20 reporters.
Yeah.
You're going to get fined.
Like, come on, man. They need a story.
He can afford it. He's got the $25K, but like that was obviously going to happen.
I mean, what is their roster? Like $22 million for the roster?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they got deep pockets over there in Big Blue Nation. So the Pirates selected Connor Griffin with the 9th overall pick in the 2024 MLB draft. And it didn't take him long to prove his worth. So today during spring training against the Boston Red Sox, the shortstop launched 2 home runs. So will Connor Griffin live up to the hype? Take it or leave it?
Take it.
I'll take it.
What do you know about Connor Griffin?
Well, I know you said earlier he was going to go to LSU.
That's right.
So that's why I
He's
put him
from
in
Mississippi.
here today.
He signed with LSU. He was never coming to LSU, but for
Okay.
those that lose track of him immediately after the draft and when they sign, I think he's 19, and he's
19?
He's already flying through their system. He's the best prospect in baseball. He hit 2 homers today. He might break camp as their shortstop.
Really?
Like 2 years after high school. He's a freak. When he was in high school, he was 6'3". He was 195.
The kid that's bigger than everybody.
He just looked like he already looked like a pro. Like he just already there aren't that many. A lot of the guys that get drafted out of high school are still skinny and they're projectable. Like William Schmidt was a skinny kid that could have been drafted out of high. No, he wouldn't have been picked 8th or whatever that like Griffin was, but he didn't look like that out of high school. He looked like a man already, and he was never coming to LSU, but he's flown through for sure.
All right, so tell me this, Hunt. You're telling me this guy might be able to make the opening day roster before he's able to buy a beer. That's what we're at right now.
Significantly.
Significantly
before that. Yeah.
Oh wow, this kid is the next one. So I said for take it or leave it.
All right. I still don't think the Pirates are going to be any good, but
True.
We'll see.
True.
They tried to spend some money this year. Obviously they got Skeens and they didn't trade him, so credit there.
Got a Connor Griffin.
They're going to bring in Connor Griffin. Those 2 guys that's good drafting. Skeens, they had the first pick. They could have taken Skeen or Cruz.
Well, didn't they get a catcher or something? That was like a number 1 pick they got. Like his name was Henry Davis. Henry something?
That's correct. Yeah, they did get a highly coveted catcher. And they spent money on a free agent, but I can't remember. Marcell Ozuna, I think they signed.
Oh, okay. The Braves?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he can hit a little bit. He's real old, and he wears weird arm sleeves that don't match his team's jersey color, but he can hit. Can't play defense at all, but he can hit. All right, that's it for us on a Tuesday. Hope to see you tonight at Court at the Table, 8 o'clock for sports trivia. If you missed any of the show, catch it on demand. That'll drive you home next on After Further Review. See you tomorrow.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Fabry Chevrolet GMC, Highway 61 in St. Francisville. As of October 1st, under new ownership with the Fabry family. They've been in business in Baton Rouge 35 years. You know the Fabry family. Unbelievable customer service, great buying experience. Service after the sale as well. In their service department at Fabry Chevrolet GMC, they service all makes. So stop on by if you're having some issues. February, I've been telling you all February long. Got a couple more days to tell you. It's time to buy a truck. Silverados, up to $11,000 off MSRP, 1.9 APR financing. So if you want a Chevy Silverado, they got it. GMC Sierras, up to $13,000 off MSRP, 0.0 APR financing. Looking for a truck? Fabry Chevrolet GMC. Of course, they got your SUVs as well. Chevy Tahoes and Suburbans, GMC Yukons, and Denali's. It's all there in St. Francisville on Highway 61. Go by and see my friends at Fabry Chevrolet GMC. Every car that's on the lot is online at FabryChevrolet.com. FabryChevrolet.com.